Good morning, friends. I would just like to take a moment to anyone that's watching this to remind them that you are light and you are beauty and you are love and you are capable of change and evolution and elevation, and to have fun with the avatar that you're in. And this world is not nearly as real as you think it is, and to create the reality that you desire, and that you can really do whatever the hell you want. Today we're going to take you around and we're going to explain to you why we are legally changing our names and moving across the country.
You know, when we get back to North Carolina this week, it's going to be chilly there.
There's there.
You what, live there?
Deer.
Deer? Oh no, remember the deers are down here in the valley.
No.
Let's go find them.
Awake?
Are they awake? I bet they're awake.
Who? You see a deer?
I don't see them yet. Oh, nice. Milk thistle.
A bee flowers.
Look at that's milk thistle. Look at that bee's eating his breakfast. He's like, yummy. Yeah, he's drinking out of the flower.
Yum.
He's gonna go make some honey.
Yeah.
Look at okay.
That's a green puppy.
Those ones are poisonous though, so we can't eat them. But they're pretty, aren't they? Look at these ones are purple.
Oh, I don't know poison.
Those ones are poisonous too.
Let's see deer.
Alright, let's go see.
Wake up, deer. Wake up, deer.
So for those of you that have been following us for a while, you know that in 2020 we sold our home and then we spent the year saving up as much as we possibly could so that in 2021 we could quit our jobs and do what we were calling a wandering retreat. And it was an opportunity for us to like float around the country and to camp in wild places and to hopefully find communities that we really aligned with and land that we felt called to raise our family and begin the next chapter of our lives. And it was a dream in many respects because we got to be poets and philosophers and really just like question everything, but also it was such like such an ambiguous, strange time where we were just wandering and wondering, like, what is life, like what is reality, what do we want our reality to be like? And I am so grateful for that time, but I think I feel so excited about this next chapter because we gotta go find the deer. Where are they? Because now it's like we have action. Like we move next week. We're gonna start looking for a house. We're gonna begin our homesteading journey. There you go. You want them all the way in there?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you do it once by yourself, okay?
No!
Oh. Let it out. You've got some feelings. Okay, I'm coming.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you want me to hold it? I'll put it in my pocket. Should we walk back to the house, to the barn apartment?
You're one of
This next chapter though, I feel like so incredibly excited about because we have like such a specific vision and direction, and like all of this energy and excitement can be channeled into something. So like tangible things to focus on and share with you. So yes, my love. But yeah, so we're just wrapping up loose ends here in Nebraska and we leave in a few days and we are so excited. Are you excited? Yeah. One thing that Elliot loves to do is thrift. They're so good at like creating such a nest for us, but we also only can fit so much into a van as we travel across the country. But Elliot can't stop and shan't be stopped.
I can't help but start decorating our home before we even have it.
Stay up all night, writing songs about you, take me home.
We wanted to show you guys one of our, well, my obsession right now are the Goodwill outlets. So it's different than a normal thrift store. It's actually called the bins by a lot of people that go here regularly. And what it is it's all of these bins of stuff that are somewhat organized into like clothes, household, books, kids stuff, and like it's sold by the pound. It's really fun. You feel like a dumpster diver just digging through these bins.
No! water bottle?
And Uma's looking for stuff for school, so we're just going over the things she already has. So
May I have a water bottle?
you have a water bottle?
Can I see my water bottle?
Oh, it's at the barn apartment. We'll go get it, but for now, let's go see if we can find some new stuff. Let's go show them what it's like in there.
Yeah.
Let's go.
These are the types of people you see at Goodwill bins.
Bins dwellers. Hi. Great to see you. All right. So I can't get too much because it all has to fit in the van, but you know, these shorts are kind of cute. They might be kind of big on me. Ooh, I kind of like this shirt.
Yeah.
What'd you find? Look at this. Do you like it? That will fit you.
Look at my dress. Look at my dress.
It's beautiful.
Uma, show him your hat. Show Daddy your hat.
We both have black purses, don't we?
You have a pretty purse. You don't have.
Do I not have a pretty purse? Should I find a pretty purse? Does it need to have more sparkles on it? Yeah.
Why are they all lined up over there?
So they close the rows and they bring out all the old bins and then they bring in all the new ones, but you're not allowed to shop in them until they're all out. So then people just line up and wait so they can be the first ones to go through the bins. Some people hang out here all day.
Let's move out of the way, quick. Let's move back.
Why?
Because everyone's gonna go into that. Watch over here.
What's Papa doing?
He's going to the bin.
All right, so I want to show you guys what we found in the bins. We've been a couple times while we've been home and I've spent a total of $40, and what I'm going to show you is like probably just half of what we found. So keep that in mind. I love it. I can't even go to a regular thrift store now because it feels expensive compared to the bins.
And it is kind of expensive.
It
now.
is. 100% cloth napkins. I love buying linens and fabrics that have been like well used because then all the like chemicals that they've put on them to treat them is like worn off and now they're just nice, healthy, 100% cotton napkins. So all of these, I like can't eat out of ugly things. So look how beautiful these are. And they're oven safe too. They're just so beautiful. You know, you need to strain things when you have a house. Look how big and beautiful this is. It looks so cute hanging up on the wall. This is a picnic basket, so we'll obviously can use it to go on picnics, but I just think like it's nice to have things like this in your living room so you can throw ugly cluttered things in there and then you can like set stuff on top of it too, like a little end table. Books are 50 cents each or 3 for $1, and I find some of the coolest vintage books there with such beautiful illustrations. Got a whole set of these encyclopedias, which is Lands and Peoples. These ones are from like the 1950s, and what's so cool is it's just filled with these beautiful illustrations that are just like really beautiful of people and lands and like sites, and just to like look through these while drinking my morning coffee will be so fun to, you know, pretend I'm exploring the world. Kids books are really cool, especially I love like vintage kids books just because the pictures are like paintings and they're just so much more like beautiful, and like just the writing style from like 50s, 60s and 70s like can be a little problematic sometimes, but also the language is just so much more like flowery and they use words that we just don't use anymore. And then just like really practical stuff, like these are 100% organic cotton pillowcases, $1.25.
And how much do you think something like that would cost if you were buying them brand new?
Organic pillowcases? I don't even know. I don't know, like 10 bucks for the two of them?
At least, right?
At least. I'm just like guessing low.
And you briefly mentioned it. Will you explain even in more detail, like when we buy t-shirts and when we buy pillowcases and things that are brand new, when you said they have chemicals on them, like what?
Oh yeah. So yeah, there's this documentary I watched a couple years ago called Stink! And it was this father and husband whose wife died really early of breast cancer, and he was like, we live such a healthy life, like why did she die? And he went into all this research about like how all of our fabrics in our home, our furniture, our carpets, our clothing, our pillowcases, children's clothes, they all have like flame retardant and these other chemicals that are like not regulated, and they just spray them all over fabrics, which in theory is good because, like, you know, back when people smoked a lot of cigarettes or like there was more risk of fire in homes, like that was probably really advantageous. But now we realize those chemicals are like filled with carcinogens. So I only know so much about it, but I highly recommend researching these things so you can make educated decisions for your family. But for me, buying well-loved and used clothes that have been washed a lot makes me feel better knowing that the things that we're like adorning our bodies with and like sleeping on have been stripped of a lot of those chemicals too.
I think sometimes like people, when they go to thrift stores, they think it's like gross or dirty because they've been previously used. But if we can reconsider what is gross and what is dirty, and realizing that things that look new and feel and smell really clean probably have some of the worst things for us. So when you buy things that are thrifted, it's actually much healthier, much cleaner, much better for you.
And while you're shopping, sometimes you're like, all right, like I'm gonna have to like, you know, probably soak these in like vinegar in the washing machine to get them nice and clean and other people smell off of them. Or when I buy dishes and cups, like I pour boiling, scalding water into them and I like really thoroughly wash them well. You have to get over that a little bit, you know. These cute pillows, I have 2 of these. So I found these at the thrift store, and I always like to make sure I see what the pillow inside looks like, because if it's all dingy and weird, like I probably don't want a pillow. But I pulled these ones open, and oh my god, inside are these really cool retro pillows that have to be from like the 70s or something. So 2-for-1 deal. Some placemats. Just like, they're a little tore up, but I kind of like that vibe. There's a lot of stuff there that isn't beat up like this, but I really like a little bit of wear on something. It feels really comforting to me. I love having like a selection of napkins and placemats and plates, and to really like curate your dinner table with like, to make it look like art before you like set out the food, I think makes sitting down for a meal feel so much more beautiful and curated.
It feels nice just to give up this like desire to make everything match and be uniform.
Set of plates in this. Like when we stayed with people and they had this curated collection of like thrifted and found and estate sale things, the dinner table becomes a conversation piece. You know, then throw some like flowers from the garden in a vase and like a couple cool little books in the middle, and you just have like an art piece as your dining room table. So it can be a lot of fun. It just doesn't have to be about saving yourself money, and not just about saving money or like thrifting for fun, but it's about like out of necessity. The planet cannot handle us continue to extract because we have this obsession with new and pretty in these sets. Like we have to like become disenchanted by that. Like that's capitalism, that's consumer culture that has like taken over, and it's just not sustainable. First of all, if you're like going into these department stores and buying these things for cheap, these cheap clothes, the real cost of that is, one, someone who's making these things is being exploited. It is modern day slavery. And also these companies, if you go into a store and the shirt says made in Bangladesh, this shirt was thrifted by the way, that means that someone, maybe a child or a woman, is being exploited for her work, and there's no regulation, so they're dumping chemicals into the waterways. They're like destroying the ecosystems, the water that these like people use to like live, and you know, this land that they need to like sustain their family are being polluted, and there's nothing they can do about it. So it's not just about extracting from the planet, it's just about exploiting people and places. So this stuff, the next place that these things are going to was the landfill, and we just prevented these things from going to a landfill. And not only that, we didn't buy something new that just stripped more from the earth. Like this, we just can't keep living like this. And for us, it's such a big value, and it feels like an act of rebellion against the system, but also it feels so nourishing for the earth to take these found objects and to fill our home with them. So it feels really good in my heart to know that we're doing that, and to make that a value that we can instill in UMA. And like freedom, because these things, all of this plus a lot more, I spent $40 on all of it. So it also just really is economical too. That's the end of my rampage. Thank you.
Should enjoy the fruits of life instead of
Yummy?
I don't like watermelon.
Uma.
What's your name gonna be?
Dirt.
Uma Dürt?
Can you say it louder?
Dirt.
Ask Dada, why is our last name gonna be Dürt?
Why am I signing dirt?
So we're about to go to the courthouse and we are officially changing our names to Dürt. Those actually aren't our legal names. My last name is Elliot, Elliot's name is Doherty, and Uma's last name currently is Uma Louise Doherty Elliot. And we'll all be officially, legally the Dürt fam in a little bit.
What's the origin story? Like, how did we even come up with that?
I don't even want to get into the philosophy of why I created the name Dürt, but I essentially did it when I was working at a private Catholic school, and I didn't want the students to, you know, spy into my personal life. So on my Facebook, I changed it to Dürt. And then when I met Elliot at that time,
which I met Matt, he was on my friend suggestions, like people you may know on Facebook. So I saw Matthew Dürt and I was like, who is this guy? He seems interesting.
Yeah, we just always then called ourselves that. Dürt Productions when we were creating the film, House of Dürt when we were doing all sorts of creative endeavors, and then the Dürt family when we started telling our story here online with you guys. And we first got inspired by the idea of like actually legally changing our name when we heard of a story of a woman named Janet, and she legally changed her name to The Planet, and her whole premise was that how can I possibly take life seriously when I'm named Janet the Planet? And I just loved this like declaration and this defiance of anything that's serious and a celebration of like ridiculousness. And also though, just like being a queer couple and marrying and like having to subscribe to the system that is very heteronormative. No shade, but I've seen like lots of gay couples where the more feminine type then takes on the other guy's last name, and it just all feels so freaking...
Let's not uphold patriarchy.
Yeah, if we have the ability to create a last name and do things our own way as queer individuals, and yes, we love marriage, and yes, we love the benefits that come from it, but also do it our own way and don't feel like you have to subscribe to it. It just feels so right. I'm excited. I'm a little nervous. What's your name?
Uma Dirt.
Yeah.
She says it with the proper umlaut.
She gets
Dürt.
I know, I love it.
There's many ways to be happy. You can do whatever you like. You don't have to be ready. You just gotta trust the right. Don't have to be scary. You just gotta follow the light. You're able to be happy. You can do whatever you like.
Look at the camera.
What you got there? They're here. So it's actually the next day. We did not feel comfortable asking the judge if we could film it. So here we are. I'm going to include right now a picture of the minute we walked out of the courthouse and we officially became the Dürt family. Oh. But yeah, no, it's here. We got the documents. We have to. We are obligated. We must say thank you to the Creighton Legal Clinic who did actually all of this for free. They offer these services for certain LGBTQ funds, and just Caitlin Cherney who got us set up, and the rest of the legal team that did this. We just truly cannot thank you enough.
So we've got this completed, and now we are heading to Casey and Misha's house where we lived for the full year before we started traveling, and that is where we have all of our belongings in storage. And by all of our belongings, I mostly mean my huge book collection. So we're gonna go get all of our stuff now and see how much we can fit in the van, and we are leaving tomorrow morning.
Get out of our fucking house! It's National Dog Day.
It is?
It is. What's that, a bowling ball?
No, just the cloth.
You were down there for so long.
I was packing up the
Mish.
mugs in that box, and then Mish carried it for me. I carried my beloved sweater.
You're like a really hefty ball right here.
Our tent?
That's our tent? Oh my gosh. If anyone thought you were kidding about books, literally that's all that we're packing.
Making a sweet little home was always like one of my favorite pastimes, and I'm excited to make a home again.
Okay, so tonight's our last night at the barn apartment. We stopped on the side of the road to pull some flowers that look gorgeous to say thank you to the people that hosted us here. Yeah, tomorrow we're gonna wake up at 5 a.m. We're gonna go pick up Uma from Grandma. She did one final sleepover with Grandma, and we'll officially be on our way to the Appalachian Mountains, and we're gonna bring you along. We are so grateful to be back here weekly. This feels really fun just to be like more authentic and here with you, and so keep telling us what you're thinking. We love hearing from you, and we can't wait to show you the houses that we're interested in for our future homestead. But for now, if you enjoyed this video, I want to recommend
going great though.
If you like this video, I want to recommend one that felt really subtle at the moment, but now feels really profound, and it's called
Why You Should Run Away From Home and Burn Down Your Reputation.
And then if you have a bunch of extra time and just want to start from the very beginning, and maybe you want to watch videos of like how we became minimalists or how we sold our house or when we began our wandering retreat, and so I'm going to include that playlist right here too. Love you. Bye. We love you so much. Thank you. Bye. Enjoy these flowers.